Do you see, I guess they're not done with Syria just yet. What was your takeaway from this exchange? Because for me, this was, I mean, extraordinary to watch. I know the CIA and the different Syrian jihadist groups have worked very close, but still, the efforts to whitewash this all and make it into a respectable partner for well unknown purposes going forward. I don't know. What was your takeaway?
Netanyahu also explained this, that, we have a wonderful friend next door in Syria now, and I expect that we're going to make peace soon. Well, it's very simple. In 2011, and Petraeus was very much there and involved, the Obama administration decided to overthrow the government of Bashar al-Assad. This was done at the behest of Netanyahu. This is one of Netanyahu's many wars in which he uses the United States, uses the U.S. government, the U.S. military, the U.S. taxpayer to fight his wars. Let me just say before I get back to Syria, what is Netanyahu's intention? That Israel dominates the Middle East in power, in effective hegemony, but that it completely dominates Palestine, that basically the Palestinians are written out of history, even mass slaughtered or ethnically cleansed from Palestine. So what Netanyahu has said since 1996 is that there will never be a state of Palestine. This is what he reiterated at the UN. And we will overthrow any government that opposes us in our domination of all of Palestine. It's mind-boggling in its brutality and in its delusion. Israel, around 10 million population, wants to dominate a region of hundreds of millions of people, including by destroying the population of Palestinian Arabs in their midst, which equal the number of Israeli Jews, roughly speaking, at about 8 million people each. So this is Netanyahu's strategy, and every country that he calls a supporter of Palestine, therefore, needs to be overthrown. One of those was the Syrian government of Bashar al-Assad. And in 2011, at Netanyahu's behest, Obama and Hillary Clinton launched the overthrow of Bashar al-Assad. Well, as in so many of American CIA-led misadventures, that's a soft term for it, this was 14 years of bloodshed and war, which claimed hundreds of thousands of lives and destroyed much of Syria and much of the ancient Syria, which is a heritage of all of human civilization. Well, finally, the result was that after 14 years, Israel and the United States brought a jihadist government to power, and they think it's their puppet. And maybe for the moment, it is their puppet. This is hardly a stable, legitimate government, nor a peaceful government, because we know that there is mass violence, retributive murder underway, large parts of the Syrian population at a grave risk, and new violence could explode. But this is a puppet regime entirely. And so the words of Petraeus, who gets everything wrong all the time anyway, and the words of Netanyahu were completely aligned in the last 3 days about this wonderful new government that Israel and the United States installed in Syria, and how it's going to make peace with Israel and do all these wonderful things. Absolutely astounding. Remember, Petraeus is also the one who told us that in 2023, Ukraine's counteroffensive was going to drive Ukraine to the Sea of Azov, and Russia was going to be defeated and all the rest. The man's a walking disaster. So you can have the rank of general and be wrong on everything. And he is in that class.
Well, it's just that when you can't do diplomacy anymore, you're incapable of even discussing what the security concerns of Russia, China, Iran might be without, labeling it near treason, even to discuss it. This is the situation of diplomacy. Meanwhile, we can sit down with the former leaders of Al-Qaeda because they're considered an instrument for finding military solutions. It's just, as the 80th session of the UN General Assembly, 80 years after the Second World War, an institution to find peaceful solutions in the world, it's very depressing to see that this is where we are. It's very hard to be optimistic about where the world is heading as well.
Let me just add a couple of points, if I might. The vast majority of speeches at the UN from all over the world were actually uplifting, calling for peace, calling for cooperation, calling for an effective United Nations. We're seeing a few countries hijack the international system. We're not seeing the end of the international system or its support all over the world. I sat through lots of speeches. I met with lots of leaders. The vast majority of the world does not behave like the United States and Israel and Germany and the UK. This is really important to understand. China shows a phenomenal responsibility compared to what we've been discussing in the past few minutes. And China talked about its commitments to climate safety, to environmental safety, something that Trump completely and fallaciously abandoned at the General Assembly, calling it the whole climate issue a total hoax and so forth, when we see environmental destruction all around us. The world is not losing its sense of the need for shared actions for peace and for other common interests, to protect the oceans or to protect the common areas of our world. What it's seeing is that unfortunately the United States has completely lost its way, because in its delusion it tried to and tries to maintain its hegemony, which it no longer has, but it flails about trying to somehow defend its prerogatives and act as if it runs the show, which it doesn't do at all. But it uses military means for these purposes and makes the world very dangerous. So honestly, I didn't feel that it was a collapse of the United Nations. I felt more that it is a collapse of the United States. The quality of governance is appalling. Trump is an ignoramus. He's a fool. And you listen to him for 5 minutes and you know that he understands and knows nothing except nastiness. But you look at his whole team around him. This is a team of the most rank amateurism imaginable. Amateurism even dignifies it in a way. These are people just playing with words, playing with fire, playing games, making claims, changing them the next hour. It's a kind of incoherence. So, what do I take away from all of this? Not to give up on the possibilities of peace and actual justice even, and an international order of the UN Charter, but actually to see if the vast majority of the world, which speaks in the UN General Assembly, can use its will, which outnumbers the United States vastly, to push the United States and these few much smaller European powers back into some sense of responsibility and away from their delusions of grandeur. So I don't think we should give up on this. I think what we heard was some extraordinarily weird rhetoric, mainly from the U.S. and Israel, also from the UK, which never makes sense now because its delusions are even grander. Its empire was bigger and its delusions are even grander after losing that empire. But it's a few countries that are completely out of line with the spirit of the times, which is for peace and problem solving. And there was a lot of the latter expressed at the UN.
Well, I did watch those peaceful speeches as well, so I'm very grateful you were able to end this on a positive note, because we do need the United Nations. So and also thank you so much for taking the time, my friend.